You're looking down at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, certified a week ago as the loudest stadium in the world. Home to the undefeated Chiefs, who are one of only 2 unbeatens left in the league, along with division rival Denver. While the Texans are struggling along, 4 straight losses at 2-4 on the year. And hello, friends, Jim Nantz, along with Super Bowl MVP quarterback Phil Simms. A new era, though, maybe, starting today for the Houston Texans as they'll go with Case Keenum at quarterback.
What a place to start right here against this defense with this crowd noise. You got to protect today, Case Keenum. Put everything on your defense. Make them come out here today and win the game.
Well, the crowd is already worked up. The Chiefs have won the toss and won the football, and this game is being broadcast in Spanish where available using the SAP button on your television. So Randy Bullock will be sending it down to Quentin Demps, the former Texan. And the 6-0 Kansas City Chiefs will be starting from the 20. With Alex Smith traded in the offseason just after the end of last year. Over from San Francisco. He's lost only 5 of his last 32 starts. Very efficient. His offensive line, all first, second, and third round draft picks. In fact, on the 2 edges, both number 1s, and the number 1 overall in this last draft was Eric Fisher, right tackle. And Jamal Charles, by way of Port Arthur, Texas, the electrifying running back. It's Anthony Sherman to the right side of Smith. And they go gun and knock down, denying the pass to Bo. Joseph actually thought about stepping up and playing big, but instead just deflected it away from Bo. Here's the Texan defense, allowing the fewest yards in the league. J.J. Watt, last year's NFL Defender of the Year. Brian Cushing, the captain. And the secondary, there you see him, including Ed Reid, signing as a free agent after winning the Super Bowl with the Ravens. 2nd and 10. And it's Charles, made after a 3-yard run, right into the arms of DJ Swearinger. Of course, Andy Reid coming over after so many successful years in Philadelphia, now winning his first 6 games as the man patrolling the sidelines for Kansas City.
Of course, he's enjoying his start being 6-0, but Andy Reid told us on Friday, loves just coaching football again. He is in control of this offense, not worried about personnel, and it's been an enjoyable experience so far.
J.J. Watt says there was a flinch.
Ball start offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty, it's 3rd down.
It's called on the rookie Fisher. So it'll be 3rd and 15, and 3rd down has been problematic for the Chiefs the last couple of weeks, even though, of course, they keep on winning. They've made only 5 of 26 3rd down conversions the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, you know what, Jim? 1st down's a problem for him, too. That puts him behind the situations you would like on offense. They have struggled. They tried a little safe pass to start the game, but Jonathan Joseph was all over.
Dexter McCluster has come in as an extra receiver for Kansas City. Again, 3rd and 15, and Smith's throw to Bo. And the Texans give up the completion underneath and give up the 7 yards, setting up a punt.
That's what you want. We talked to some players last night, J.J. Watt for the Houston Texans, and he even said it to you and I. And a first-year quarterback starting, the defense has to go out there and just win this game. Everybody step up and play better because we have a first-year quarterback out there.
Colquitt to send it down to Keyshawn Martin. And the left-footed booter, one of the best in the league. Didn't catch all of that one. It bounds at the 43 and is stopped right there, where Case Keenum will have an excellent starting position after a 31-yard punt. And here he is. His first NFL snap is on the way. Signed undrafted out of the University of Houston. All year last year, practice squad, been inactive the first 6 games this year. Just an incredible career for the Houston Cougars, setting all kinds of NCAA records, over 19,000 passing yards and 155 touchdown passes. He met with us last night, and he is ready for this occasion. They go gun, and no-go Foster, and he is met for no gain. Poe with the tackle. The Texans offensive line, they sent 3 members of this line last year to the Pro Bowl, including for the 2nd straight year, Chris Myers. And Foster's 2nd in the league in rushing through the first 6 weeks. Left star Gene is in for the Texans as an extra receiver. And 2nd down and 10, and again it's Foster. Tries to wiggle and gets past a couple of Chiefs. Beautiful run. Foster, what a couple of cuts he makes to pick up 11 and a first down onto the Kansas City side of the field. Now the Chiefs defense, #1 in so many categories. There's Poe, who made the first tackle for Foster. They're #1 in sacks, including Houston, Justin Houston, so don't get confused there. 9.5 sacks on the year. And Eric Berry back in that secondary, a good one. #1 in takeaways. They've allowed the fewest touchdowns. And now the Texans on first down. Keenum's first throw is a completion to Andre Johnson for another 10. So they give Keenum a safe throw, and it picks up a first.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what you want to do to a quarterback making his first NFL start. Now, don't forget, this Kansas City defense, you said it, all those beautiful numbers, but they are 23rd in the NFL against the rush. And to me, the best rushing offense in the NFL is right here today. That's the Houston Texans.
Gary Kubiak was looking for a spark, he told us, and just went with my gut feeling, deciding to go Keenum over TJ Yates as his starter here, with Schaub down with an injury. On 1st and 10, rolling out now, Keenum plants the feet and throws it to a wide open Graham, and unable to make the catch. And I think it was more Graham than it was Keenum there, as he did not quite follow the flight of this football. He was wide open.
He was wide open. A lot of pressure on Case Keenum. And Graham trying to fight his way across the field. It took a little longer than they probably wanted it to, because he was held as he released off the line of scrimmage.
There's Matt Schaub, the foot and ankle injury suffered against St. Louis. Not even dressed today. Yates is the backup to Keenum, who faces 2nd and 10 and goes with Foster right into the pile. The Jets and the Patriots. We have a final. JB, tell us about it.
Jim, NOT. Take it away, Coach.
Nick Folk missed a 56-yarder, but an unsportsmanlike conduct call, and New England gave him a second chance from 42 yards out, and Nick Folk makes it. They win in overtime, 30-27 over the Pats.
Jets improve to 4-3. New England drops to 5-2. Jim Nance.
All right, thank you, fellas, for that immediate update, and very bunched up in the AFC East. 3rd and 10 for the Texans from the Kansas City 35. As Keenum fires, and the ball is caught, and the forward progress for Johnson will be enough for a first down.
Good little pickup by the offensive line, and Case Keenum not afraid here, Jim. Early he said he's going to trust his eyes. What a catch by Andre Johnson. Behind him, reaches back, doesn't break stride, and makes the catch. So some very positive things for Case Keenum here early in the game. Get you comfortable and get you right into this game.
1st and 10 from the 25, and movement again.
Ball shot offense, #76. By penalty with 1st down.
Jim Nance and Phil Simms in Kansas City would like to welcome those of you who saw the Jets take it in overtime, defeating the New England Patriots. Here in Kansas City, the unbeaten Chiefs 3 and out after taking the opening kickoff, wanting the football, winning the toss. And a short punt set up the Texans. Case Keenum, though, the big story, getting the start at quarterback. He's completed 2 of his first 3 throws, and he has the Texans driving. 1st and 15. And again, that's the 3rd time they've tried that side with no success. Only 1 time did Foster break through. Another no-gainer. So Case Keenum, his first ever NFL action, putting preseason action aside, getting the start today over TJ Yates. It had been a close competition to be the backup all preseason along the matchup. You saw Schaub not even dressed for the game. There's TJ Yates, who saw action after Schaub was injured in the 2nd half last week against St. Louis. Ben Tate is the running back, 2nd and 15. Pressure on Keenum, and he's able to get it away and avoid the sack. He had Justin Houston all over him.
Justin Houston, he's one of the big, not a surprise, Jim, coming from the right side against Case Keenum, going against Derek Newton. When you look against this defense, you have to look down the field, make a decision, let it go, all in rhythm. If you take the second hitch, you're going to get in trouble.
Houston already completing a 3rd and 10 on this drive, now facing 3rd and 15. Keenum, draw, Tate, bounces outside, and Tate stopped for no gain. Will attempt a field goal. Like to welcome a lot of the nation now just joining us as the Texans will be bringing out Randy Bullock for a long field goal try in the neighborhood of 48 yards. The Texans on their opening possession picking up a couple of first downs. And then that Chief defense, stout all season, shuts them down. 4th and 15, they'll go 48-yard field goal, try Bullock. And the kick hooks through. Good from 48. The Texans strike first, putting up 3 on the Chiefs. A methodical 10-play drive that took about 5 minutes and led to a field goal, but going on the road and putting points on the board the first time you touch it with a quarterback debuting, it's a good start for the Texans.
Well, yeah, it's an excellent start, but I'll tell you, they'll go to the sidelines, and they're going to look at the one play where when they had Case Keenum rolling out to the right, they had Graham going across the field. It was a wide open touchdown, but Justin Houston for the Chiefs defense got in the way of the throw.
There's Bullock. Sure, touchback on the opening kickoff, but not this time, as Dips is forced out at the 18, 21-yard run back. And now the Chiefs will come out for the second time in this game.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Papa John's, official pizza sponsor of the NFL. And by Ford. Only Ford gives you EcoBoost fuel economy and a whole lot more.
Back here in Kansas City, where during the timeout, Arian Foster was escorted to the Texans locker room and limping. First down for Kansas City with Charles. And pushing, jams him at the line and allows only a yard. Jamal Charles went over 5,000 yards in his career last week in the victory over Oakland. Became the all-time leading NFL rusher out of Port Arthur, moving past Joe Washington.
Well, you can't find enough ways to get the football to Jamal Charles. Why? He's a home run hitter. They do not have enough of them on the offensive side. 25 is their best prospect by far.
Charles is a game breaker who has scored in every game this year. On 2nd and 9, Smith walks it down the field, and it's over the head of Bo. Now, that is not something they do very often. Go for a long throw. Fewer times down the field than any team in the league this year.
Yeah, when you talk about 20-plus yards down the field, I like this. Put Dwayne Bowe in the slot. In other words, when you bring him inside, you give him more room, and you get opportunities just like this. Now he doesn't have to worry about the sideline being his enemy where it is when he lines up outside.
3rd and 9. And there you see the numbers. Pass yards per attempt, last in the league. 3 and out the first time they had it, trying to avoid it the second time. And Smith has the connection. And it's Bo, stumbles out to the 40-yard line. Pushing, stripped it, but it was too late. Give him 21 yards and a first.
Well, one of the things that really has jumped out here in the first 2 series for the Chiefs, well, that's a nice job. Let's get rid of 99 first. But they're giving Alex Smith a little extra time to look down the field and throw the football. And, Jim, when you look at what they've done so far this season, when they get somebody open deep, the pass protection breaks down. When he gets good protection, nobody gets open. So maybe today it starts to click.
A.J. Jenkins in at receiver. And here they go
said that right. Kareem Jackson, the corner, comes up and makes that kind of hit. But McCluster, that's what when you watch this Chiefs offense, big hit coming on the sideline. But they are always looking for ways. They throw a lot of screens. They have boots, the play action passes, formations. They're trying to find ways to get this offense started. They've been trying. They just haven't gotten that rhythm to make it work.
You could see the hit to the head stun McCluster. 2nd and 7. Back over to him. McCluster. And it takes it on him quickly. Got a flag down.
How about that reaction?
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense. Hit the quarterback below the knees. 15 yards from the dead ball spot. First down.
Ed Hockley and his crew on hand here. So that'll put Kansas City over to the Houston side of the field and inside of the 40.
Well, Jim, you can't hit them high. You can't hit them with the crown of your helmet. And Jared Crick, 93, that's a penalty. That's a dangerous situation. I know they protect these quarterbacks in every possible way, but I will say this. I think the defense has learned, they've adjusted, and they're finding ways to do it and do it safely.
Well, that's the hit that Brady suffered and wiped out a few years back going against Kansas City. 1st and 10. Thompson. And getting past the wave, it's Charles. And finally, grabbed by the ankles by Mays, but not until he picks up 14.
The initial contact by the defense is really good. In other words, they're up there. There's no lane for Jamal Charles just to go flying through. But nobody gets off the blocks. And then Jamal Charles, which he does so well, makes Ed Reid miss, gets the extra yards.
First down throw. He's got Sherman. And Sharpton rides him down, maybe just short. About a foot short of the first down.
Well, Andy Reid is not short of ideas, Jim. That's one thing for sure. We saw it when he was in Philadelphia, and I've seen it getting ready for this game, and honestly, I just kind of go, wow, I didn't know the Chiefs. I thought they would be more boring as I was watching their offensive scheme. We saw that time. Sherman against the linebacker, gets good yards.
2nd and a foot. That's going to be enough for the first down as Cushing collided right at the line, and Charles just needed to push it a little bit to pick up a new set of downs. Most rush yards since 2010 per game. Peterson leads over 100 per game. Arian Foster 2nd, and we're still waiting word from the Texans with Foster in the locker room. Charles 3rd. Foster, I might add, nagging hamstring injury all week long. And first down run, McCluster. That's his 2nd carry of the season. His first coming last week against the Raiders. Picks up a couple. J.J. Watt lost a helmet on that one.
Gain of 2 yards on the play.
J.J. Watt, you see his nose. He's had it stitched up a couple times. I asked him, how many stitches are there? He goes, well, 6 1 week, 8 the next, and I don't know, just a couple left because he had most of them taken out this week. But so far in this game, you're watching, they're worried about every single pass rush that he's involved in, trying to chip him or double team him, and he's been in some good run stops already.
Niall Davis is in as a running back, 2nd and 8. Smith down to the 1. Anthony Fasano, who's been out a couple of weeks and comes back with the big catch.
You said they put him in motion. He came across the field. Nobody went with him, and that's why he is wide open. They lost Fasano. He's had a bad ankle. Looked a little shaky on practice on Friday, but watching him warm up here today, he looks fresh and ready to go.
Of course, that's a secondary for the Texans without Danielle Manning, with that knee injury last week costing him his season. And here we go, 1st and goal for the Chiefs. They'll go Charles, and Charles is in untouched. Anthony Sherman cleared the hole, and it's touchdown Kansas City.
Well, it's a wonderful start for Alex Smith, the passing game, but more importantly, it's a really good start for this Chiefs offensive line. You talk about where the Texans thought they had an edge. It was their defensive line against the Chiefs' young offensive line. But that time, you said it, Sherman, good block. Fisher, good block. Touchdown.
8th overall touchdown of the season for Charles, and as you saw it, now all 7 games, he's found the end zone at least once. Suck up with the extra point. Alex Smith led him down the field, completing 4 out of 5, and Jamal Charles finished it off. Touchdown, Kansas City. Fantasy football fans, check out CBSSports.com Player Challenge, a new 4-week game with a cash prize in every league. See rules and sign up CBSSports.com/challenge. That was quite a drive put together by Kansas City, and they faced 3rd and 9 before they even had picked up their first down of the game, and a big pass play to Bo got the engine started for them.
Yeah, you said it got it going, and I think the worry about this Kansas City Chiefs offense, getting the football down the field, but protecting their quarterback. Alex Smith has been on the run most of the year. Excellent protection in these first 2 series for the Kansas City offensive line.
Chiefs had 6 first downs on that drive. Led to the end zone. Suck up to Martin. Martin, who had a crucial fumble last week that was returned for a touchdown on a kick, is swamped at the 18-yard line by Anthony Sherman. That was the big pass play to Bo, and then Pisano down to the 1, setting the table for Charles.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right. And by Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL.
We're back after a Kansas City touchdown and a kick return by Martin out to the 19. Second series of the game for the Texans offense. And they go with Tate. Again, Foster has not reemerged from the locker room after walking with
Jim, that time, just a Poe, number 92. Watch what he does going down the line of scrimmage. One of the big differences in this defense, I think, is Dontari Poe and Mike DeVito, number 70 from the Jets. They control the inside. They're not just blockers, guys that get in the way. They're guys that make plays by taking on blockers and getting in the backfield.
He played against Keenum 4 years, Memphis against Houston. Here's Keenum with a completion, and that's Posey breaking through a seam and all the way down to the Kansas City 36. Demir Posey able to rumble 42 yards off of that.
You see the speed, number 11 just hooking up, and Case Keenum, give him credit, he caught that football and got rid of it like that, and that's why he got it in there, and he gave Posey a little extra chance to run with the football. That's exciting, man. Show it.
Now confirmed from the Texans that re-aggravating of the hamstring injury by Foster. They're still ruling him questionable to return. Not definitely out, just questionable. Tate charging ahead, running hard for a gain of about 4.
I think, Jim, when you look at this offense so far by the Houston Texans, Gary Kubiak, did he surprise us last night? Like, I thought, oh, you're going to protect your quarterback, be careful. No, we're going to go. We're going to let him play. We're going to spread the field. I'm not worried about it. He's not trying to protect him. He let him get right in the flow of the game, and he's going to let him make plays if they're there.
And for Case's sake, he said, you know what? I've got nothing to lose. I'm not going to be timid. I'm going to go in there looking to sling it. 2nd and 6. Goes back to Tate. He's got a little opening, then shut back by Derek Johnson. It'll be 3rd and about 3 on the way.
Well, I'd say this, Case Keenum, he threw for over 19,000 yards in college. I'd be pretty confident coming out here, too. He's seen it all, done it all. Now he's just got to do it on the big field.
Well, the last time, if you take aside of a preseason week number 4 start against Dallas, the last time he started a real game, of course, his college career ended with a bowl victory over Penn State in the old Dallas Cotton Bowl and the Ticket City Bowl. Wrapping up his fabulous college career. We're through 1 at Arrowhead. 7-3 Chiefs. And you're watching the NFL on CBS. Nance, Bill Sims back after a rapidly moving first quarter, and there you see Arian Foster coming to the sideline with the pads off. Out with a hamstring. 3rd and 3 to start the second quarter from the Kansas City 29, and Keenum goes for the big ball, and it is caught! Caught for a touchdown! Hopkins! There is a flag down.
Before the pass is thrown, holding, defense number 24. The penalty is declined. Touchdown.
Beautiful job. This is attacking. Case Keenum leads him up the field beautifully. The ball turned over fast.
He got them both down, too. DeAndre Hopkins, their first rounder out of Clemson.
Well, what a pickup he is. What they needed last year. We talked about it when we did Houston games. They need somebody on the other side of Andre Johnson. Of course, all Texans fans know they got that guy.
A 29-yard strike on the first play of the second quarter. First, it was Keenum, 42 yards to Posey, and then 29 yards to Hopkins. Keenum's first NFL touchdown pass. DeAndre Hopkins' second NFL touchdown catch. His first one won in week 2 in overtime against Tennessee. And Keenum, how about that throw?
Yeah, it was a beautiful throw for him, and I hope he got the football too, because that first touchdown pass, how great is that?
It's kind of a squib kick and one hop on a line to Dimps. And the Texans converge on him at the 22-yard line with Elbert Mack first.
Well, Jim, it's a blitz. Why is it a blitz? Well, they're going to dare Case Keenum to throw it outside to the one-on-one situation. He looks up top, and you see Hopkins watch him just pull away from Sean Smith. Sean Smith most likely guessing, thinking they're just going to try to pick up the first down.
Well, this is the kind of spark, too, that Gary Kubiak was talking about. He felt that Case Keenum would bring to this team.
Yeah, look at it. That whole offensive line was sprinting to the sideline to congratulate Hopkins.
First down, and Smith, that ball was dropped. Fasano had it at the 30. Couldn't hold on. Catch a special episode of TV's #1 comedy, The Big Bang Theory, followed by the sharp and funny new comedy, Mom. It all starts tomorrow at 9/8 Central. Only CBS.
You said it right, though. They were hoping for some energy from Case Keenum. I think they've gotten that here early. Now will it transform to the defensive side? Hey, we got a lead, and now they can play the way they want on the defense.
There's Charles slipping through and has a first down run of 11. Picked up 11 on 2nd and 10.
Good blocking inside that time. The center, Allen, does a nice job, gets the block, seals it off. And Jamal Charles, this is a place you think Kansas City could run the football today. When you look at the Texans, 25th in the league against the rush. They are #1 against the pass.
First down in the pocket. Smith's pass influenced by some last-second pressure by Cushing, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, that did. That made the football come up short. Cushing timed the blitz and just overpowers Jamal Charles. And really, Alex Smith kind of fortunate because where he was throwing it, it was double covered. It was trouble.
2nd down and 10 with Jenkins going wide to the right. Bow in a slot right.
This offensive line does get overpowered sometimes in obvious passing situations.
Charles is lined up as receiver. They go long for him. They just let him fly as he tried to get away from Joe Mays.
Yeah, that's one you want. Alex Smith, you want back. You have Jamal Charles against Joe Mays outside. If nothing else, you make it a jump ball. And it's no move. I'm going deep. And he's pulling away, isn't he? But a little push, a little pressure, and he just misses the throw.
And he knows it, gritting his teeth. 3rd and 10.
was Houston, I wouldn't let that matchup happen again.
Smith. And another drop on this drive. Sherman this time, although the Texans would have been there to keep him well short of the first.
That drive summed up Kansas City's year on offense, Jim. A couple drop passes, an opportunity for the big play, 3 misses.
They were 0 for 4 in the passing game on that little series. And now Colquitt will send it back to Keyshawn Martin. This is a beauty. Martin takes it at the 5 and trying to find space on the sideline, now reversing field. Oh, but it cost him. It cost him big time as Hussein Abdullah drops him at the 9, a 63-yard punt. I know there are so many heavy hearts back in Houston and all through the state of Texas. The news just Friday night, the passing of the legendary Bum Phillips, who coached the Houston Oilers in some glory days back from 75 through 80, took him to a couple of AFC title games, later coached the Saints. Just beloved. Bum Phillips and his son Wade, the defensive coordinator. When we met with the Texans last night, if we heard any one message over and over again from the team, they wanted to win this game to honor Bum and bring back a victory to Houston in Bum's memory. My thoughts go out to his widow Debbie and all the family. 1st and 10 for the Texans as Ben Tate spins, and that nice spin move freed him for a moment and got him out to the 17 and a run for 7. First 2 possessions for the Texans, a field goal and a touchdown, Phil.
Yeah, very well, very well. They got to be on the sideline going, yeah, let's let this thing go now and stay aggressive and keep momentum and keep the confidence of their football team going. But you're right. That 80-some yard drive, Case Keenum now in the game. And really not being hesitant when it comes to making decisions.
2nd and 3. He kept talking with us last night about trust. I am going to trust my instincts.
And trust the eyes. See it, let it go.
Gives it to Tate. He's going to move the pile within 1 of a first.
That's a good run there, even though they didn't pick up the first down. That's right, make it a fight, both sides. That's what you want. The defense and offensive linemen make it a fight. It's just the toughest man wins. But when you talk about this Houston offensive line, I think they're absolutely tremendous when it comes to blocking for the run. And it's a varied run offense, too. It's not just the let's all go along and wait for the running back to make the cut.
You see Ryan Harris, 68, is in at right tackle for Derek Newton. 3rd and 1. And again, it's Tate, and they'll get a new set of downs. So they get out of that pinch caused when Martin tried to reverse field. And Case Keenum, how about his start to this game?
Well, the quick delivery helped Posey get the extra yards, I think. And then, of course, this long throw, it's beautiful. Turns the football over and gives Hopkins plenty of room to make that catch in the back of the end zone. Gary Kubiak said, I'm not afraid to spread the field and let my quarterback make the decision, run or throw.
First and 10, 4th straight carry for Tate. Working that middle, out to the 27 and another 5. Tonight, 60 Minutes exposes the worst-kept secret on Capitol Hill. Plus, get up close with one of the largest and most amazing creatures under the sea. 60 Minutes tonight, only CBS. Now, with Foster out, that means Tate, you're talking about running backs, is all they have left because they decided to sit Sierra Wood, and that was the last decision that Gary Kubiak wanted to make. He thought Foster was healthy enough, they only needed to go with 2 backs. There's Greg Jones, who normally is the fullback, lined up behind Keenum. And Greg Jones, with so many years at Jacksonville, blocking for Fred Taylor, and then Maurice Jones-Drew gets a run of about 4.
You can see the difference when he carries it. He really is a fullback, but when you look at Jones and Ben Tate, I would expect the team now, since Arian Foster's out, to go more straight ahead. And I think that's where you can have success. I think you can have more success just going straight at them than going outside. This Kansas City defense, these linebackers, and the defensive linemen all can run.
Foster done for the game. On the bench. In street close.
It's another blitz.
3rd and 1. And Johnson on the slant down to the Kansas City 41.
Good job. Case Keenum gets rid of it. Tough to cover. Andre Johnson one-on-one. Watch the blitzer coming free to his backside. And Brandon Flowers, well, you're worried about him going deep down the sideline. Good move at the line of scrimmage. We heard that from the Kansas City Chiefs too, didn't we? Hey, this Andre Johnson guy, he hasn't slowed down. Last year, injuries, we thought, well, it might be the decline starting to show, but not so far this year.
Leads the league in receptions, does Johnson. And Keenum has converted 4 out of 5 times on 3rd down.
Timeout, Houston.
Called by the Texans. They'll have first down on the Kansas City side of the field when we come back.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Pfizer. DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. And by Acura. Discover more about the Acura RLX at Acura.com/RLX.
Gary Kubiak was furious how fast they reset the play clock after the long completion to Johnson, and they had to take a timeout.
Yeah, well, it's a good timeout, and I don't blame him. I think he should be upset. Didn't give the Texans time to even call a play and get to the line of scrimmage.
First down from the Chiefs, 43. And it's Tate. He goes outside. And a flag is down. He went around his left tackle, Dwayne Brown. It might be called for holding.
Yep, inside run. Runner breaks out. You're thinking left tackle could be the guy called for the hold. Just guessing.
Holding. Offense, number 76. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Yeah, and it was. And those are tough. It's like the quarterback when he scrambles. Offensive linemen don't know it. They think, hey, something wrong here. So Ben Tate, good read by him. Nothing inside, takes it out. Dwayne Brown just wasn't ready for that.
First and 20. And Keenum's got an open man. It's back over to Hopkins. And it's on the mark to the 41. And that's good for 12.
During the commercial, I looked at you, Jim, and Gary Kubiak's got to keep this going. Be an aggressive play caller. Keep the emotion and the rhythm they have on the offensive side. Of course, I know he will. But another good throw against the defense that's a little worried about getting run on right now.
Well, Keenum's thrown for 130 against them. 6 out of 8 and a touchdown.
Shoot, they're putting him in the shotgun and he thinks he's back at the University of Houston almost every play.
He's hit his last 4 throws. And 2nd and 8, Tate. He's got him in field goal range anyway as he picks up 5. 3rd down on the way. You talk about Keenum's path to the NFL. He came out of Abilene, Texas, Wiley High School. He had 1 scholarship offer.
Abilene Christian?
Nope, University of Houston.
Wow, so he grew up in Abilene and they don't even offer him a scholarship.
Went to Houston, was recruited by Artie Briles, who of course would go on to Baylor and coach RG3. And then Keenum would play his college career with Kevin Sumlin as his coach, who would go to A&M and coach a Heisman winner himself in Manziel. 3rd and 3, and a jump pass, and no flag as they try to hit Graham. Keenum saw the blitz coming and unloaded it.
Really good job of unloading the pass by Case Keenum. And Derek Johnson, just one of the best all-around linebackers in the NFL.
I said they were in field goal range, but they're not going to go.
No, this is into the wind.
55 yards into the wind.
Right.
Although I saw Bullock make some From a little bit outside of this during the warm-ups. They're going to go Leckler instead. One of the great ones ever. Leckler. Boy, they came after him too. Leckler's punt. Caught by Mack at the 2-yard line. Executed to perfection. 34-yard punt. And the Chiefs will take it from the 2. Aerial coverage is provided by MetLife here in Kansas City. We're in the mid-60s and a little breezy. And the Chiefs back up at the, call it the 3, down 10-7.
False start, offense, number 42. Half the distance to the goal. It's first down.
You know, last week this crowd was so raucous in the game against the Raiders. It got measured. Guinness World Book of Records set it as the all-time loudest stadium. One roar, 137 decibel level. But they forced last week 3 delay of games by the Raiders and 3 false starts because of all that noise. We already have 2 false starts on the Chiefs here today. And Charles trying to tiptoe through some traffic and only gets a yard. Yeah, last week they had the official adjudicator, Philip Robertson, here from Guinness to measure it. He broke the Seahawks record. And, of course, the record for 2 years belonged to Turkey at the Ali Sami Yen Sport Complex.
Oh, you say that to me.
And the record's back on American soil now.
That's what we're proud of.
From the end zone. As Bassano wrestled down. It'll be 3rd down coming up. Sharpton drags him after a gain of 5.
Jim, I've always said we have the biggest mouths in the world, so we needed that record back here. Don't you agree? Can't even.
You were not a part of that measurement.
No,
well,
I'd have sent it over the top.
Ed Reid was out for a couple of plays, but now he's back in. 3rd and 5. And Smith from the gun. The timeout called by Kansas City. 6:26 to go in the second quarter. And the visitors are up 3.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Domino's. Visit Domino's.com. And by State Farm. It pays to double check. Talk to your agent today.
Kansas City, known as the City of Fountains. And they claim to have the most fountains of any city in the world after Rome. Now, big 3rd down coming up for the Chiefs at 3rd and 5 from the 8-yard line. And got the first down. And a tackle by Cayo. Somersaults him out at the 25, picks up 16.
Good thing it's a quick pass. J.J. Watt goes right around or inside Eric Fisher. But a good job by Alex Smith. Watch how fast J.J. Watt got there, finding Dwayne Bowe and getting the football to him. J.J. Watt, how about that little shake? Confuses the offensive line. We were talking about that last night. He shakes, determines what he's going to do after that. He got right in there.
1st and 10. And they go screen with Charles. Breaks the tackle. And finds some open field. And he's got 9 yards. Good piece of running. Jamal Charles so hard to bring down.
Dwayne Bowe, Jamal Charles, get the football to him. Quick passes to Bowe. And how about this screen? And that's just all Jamal Charles. Great hustle by the Houston defense, but they over-pursue. And Charles, one of the few runners that's able to cut back with the speed and still get around that defense.
Boy, the Chiefs doing a good job of getting out of a really tough jam, starting this drive back at the 3. 2nd and 1. And they've got a first down with Charles at the 38. You know, you were talking about all that noise. To give you an idea how you compare that, a jackhammer is about 95 decibels. The rock concerts, about 115. The threshold of pain.
I know that one.
Should be a shot of me right now. And then Arrowhead, just below that of a jet engine.
A shot of you? I think you're underselling yourself.
First down run.
Davis, the ball carrier.
And Miles Davis' first carry picks up 2. A top NCIS agent could hit rock bottom in a new episode of TV's #1 show, NCIS, Tuesday at 8, 7 Central, only CBS.
So I've noticed DJ Swearinger starting at safety this week for Danielle Manning. Boy, he's making his presence felt, getting up inside, making some tackles when they run between the tackles.
Going out and completing the short toss to Sean McGrath. He's tripped up by Jackson, holds him to 1.
Well, J.J. Watt, when you play the Houston Texans, it's all about stopping him first. Look how quick he gets to Alex Smith. Every quarterback feels that, Alex. He gets a good shot at all of them. Very good against the run. There's that nose bleed again. What shape he is in. I saw him come out for one play, surprised, but a defensive lineman that can run all day.
3rd and 7. Open. It's Avery for the first down. Broke away from McCain, and Avery has 11.
Double team J.J. Watt, give the quarterback extra time so you can see Avery coming across the field. They like to do this with him. They had great success early in the year underneath routes to Avery, especially against the Eagles.
Avery, who caught over 90 balls his senior year at the University of Houston from Case Keenum, and it got him drafted as the highest wide receiver taken in the draft back in 08 by the Rams. And 1st and 10, and that's Charles. And the Chiefs are putting together a second impressive drive in this first half.
They sure are. And this is all Jamal Charles. Watch it. They got it blocked, or they got it sealed off inside. You look like he waits, hesitates, and he can just shoot forward for 3 or 4 extra yards like it's nothing. He's been one of those guys, Jim. Of course, they haven't had success in the playoffs or big-time success. They're not on national TV a lot. Nobody. If you went to the average fan and said name the top 5 running backs in the NFL, they wouldn't even think of naming Jamal Charles as one.
Well, if you play fantasy football, you would know it.
Oh, there you go.
10th play of the drive, and Smith has time and gets it to an open man, Avery again.
Well, he did that with his eyes, Alex Smith. That was very well done. He gets time to throw, and let's just watch his eyes. He's going to look back across the field because he wants a big play. Not open, find the sideline, and what happened is Jonathan Joseph, he falls back because of that look down the middle of the field.
Good pass by Smith, zips it in there, and from the 25 now. And we've reached the 2-minute warning. Houston leads it 10-7. You're watching the NFL on CBS. There you look, total yard figures. Chiefs at 160.
I came here expecting a defensive slugfest. We got offenses executing well.
And that's down to about the 20 for Charles.
Just like this drive. Alex Smith is 6 for 6 to 5 different receivers. They are spreading it around, being creative on the offensive side, and having success.
Smith, who told us he knew all about how difficult it was for an opponent to come in here and play well. Twice quarterbacking the Niners in his days in San Francisco, and said he had it handed to him both times. 2nd and 5. Setting up the screen to Charles. It's Ed Reid closing in on us and bucks him out of bounds. Not until he has another first down. Coming up, the Verizon Halftime Report with JV, Dan, Shannon Boomer, and Coach Cower. All the scores and highlights and the recaps of the early games coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report.
Good job. Take advantage and protect your quarterback. Think what they've done so far with Kansas City's offense. They've thrown it quick. They've thrown some screens like we just saw. They've moved the pocket. Got Alex Smith outside, so they're making it tough on the Houston pass rush just to zero in on where the quarterback is going to be.
New set of downs at the Houston 14. Get rid of it, and was tackled at the 5, tripped up by Jackson. But another 9 picked up, and now Smith is 8 for 8 on this drive.
Yeah, beautiful job by Alex Smith that time. Trouble, got out of it by throwing on the move.
Timeout called by Kansas City.
Well, Alex Smith in a little trouble on the last play, but he's done this a couple times today. Feels the pressure. Antonio Smith coming at him and able to backtrack a little bit and still throw on the run accurately. They got to be pretty excited. Getting Dwayne Bowe the football today, finding ways to get it to McCluster, and of course always try to find ways to get it to Jamal Charles.
Trying to close out what would be a 97-yard touchdown drive if they can negotiate these last 5. 2nd and 1. Backpedaling and get rid of it.
It's going to be close. That could be a penalty.
Intended for Anthony Sherman.
Guess you could say Sherman was in the area.
Yeah, you're right. It's close enough. Because I think Alex Smith is definitely still in the tackle box. And yes, it's close enough to Sherman, no doubt.
So now it's 3rd and 1.
Incidental tripping on the outside.
Still has it. Smith! Wow, he takes them all out. Touchdown, Kansas City.
I'm not sure. Turns to the wrong side if he was going to hand it to Jamal Charles or it was a keep all the way. I think he's going to hand it to him. Even if he turned the wrong way, I don't see how you'd make that fake. I didn't think you're going to run up in there, but it worked out. Defense didn't react quick enough.
I couldn't wait for you to explain whether or not that was a design because he was frozen for a while. 97-yard drive. The Chiefs' first rush touchdown by someone other than Jamal Charles this season. Again, the Verizon halftime report is coming up in just a short while as you see Shannon and Boomer, Dan and Coach Cowher. JB will be directing it all through the Studio 43 highlight machine. Coming up, Verizon halftime report.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be a cutback run. You see the block over here. Jamal Charles is going to cut in there, but a good job by Charles to keep moving. And look at everybody. Wow, what a double team that time on the left side. Brandon Albert and Jeff Allen, they drive the blockers or the defenders down inside, and that's why Alex Smith was able to walk into the end zone.
15 plays, the longest allowed by Houston this year, 97 yards. And Smith 8 out of 9, and runs it in for the touchdown. And shared a good laugh with some teammates on the sideline. They know they got away with that one. Now Keenum will have 56 seconds and 2 timeouts to work with from the 20.
Just watch it over here. Watch these 2 guys on the left side. Drive Antonio Smith. Oh, boy, down inside. Sherman gets a good block. The Chiefs really executed a lot of plays. Yeah, it froze the defense, but even if he'd have handed it off, I think Jamal Charles is still going to get at least the first down and maybe score. But they're aggressive, creative, and making some plays.
Tate, we'll see what they give him. They give him 7, written down by Derek Johnson. And again, 2 timeouts for Houston.
Well, you know, I don't think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to call a timeout. They only have 1 left here, and Gary Kubiak knows where he's at. The circumstances, 14-10. This is perfect. Just let it go. Now, if you hand it off this time and he picks up big yards, then you use one of those timeouts.
There it is. Delay give. First down, Tate. And that's enough yardage. You might want to think about something out to the 38-yard line. 12 seconds, and now a timeout called. They got it at 11, Houston. Why did Houston wait so long to try to do something with it? They've been cursed the first 6 weeks. So many mistakes. And they played a clean first half.
And don't make a mistake here.
Keenum finds Gene at the 48-yard line with 8 seconds.
Now, Tim, if I'd have been Gary Kubiak, 100 out of 100, I would have done exactly what he has done. Because of the situation, our first start ever for your quarterback, here in this stadium, noise, the defense. Now he's worked it out where maybe one more completion and they can get a long field goal try out of this.
You might be wondering, why did the clock only run down to 8 during the timeout? They actually put 2 additional seconds back on, so it started that last play at 13. Again, going into the breeze, and Keenum has Gene again, and he's out at the 42.
Beautiful job. One protection that time by the Houston offensive line. And let's start Gene able to go inside. And he actually was going across and came back outside.
So, again, I think the win consideration just too much here. 1 second to go. And instead of trying what would be basically 59 yards with Bullock.
Well, the wind has stopped. Now, before the game, I watched him kick one from 49 and not get it to the goalpost, but it was really breezy in pregame warm-ups, though.
A timeout called by Houston.
I thought maybe they're going to call the timeout, Jim, and bring their field goal unit on, but no, Gary Kubiak going to figure out what to do here. Throw it in the end zone. That's the preference, to give your team a chance, or if you get pass interference, of course, you get one more play too because of a defensive penalty.
Both quarterbacks have played extremely well here in the first half.
Oh my gosh, everybody, both fan bases, doesn't happen often. They got to be excited about the quarterback play. Case Keenum, awesome first half by him, made a couple beautiful throws, moved around, and Alex Smith, those numbers could be even better. Very efficient and well done by him, too.
And no turnovers in this game and no sacks for either side.
I didn't think I would come here and say, wow, the offenses have really entertained me today, but they have here in the first half.
5 Chiefs are lined up inside of the 10. As Keenum lines up, flings it toward the end zone, and the ball tipped around. Oh! Did Andre Johnson have a chance to make a play on that?
Great job by Case Keenum. This is what you have to do as a quarterback. He moved around, let them all get down in the end zone, and now it's his fight for the football.
There you see Gene got a hand on it, and Andre reacting just a split second too late. 14-10 Chiefs lead it at halftime. Verizon halftime reports coming up after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
It's all in a day.
The penalty is
It's all in a day.
A game with 3 lead changes, and Kansas City leads it and will be kicking to Houston to start the third quarter. Diet Pepsi encourages fans to bid on pink gear to benefit the NFL's A Crucial Catch campaign. Show you're fan enough by visiting NFL.com/auction to bid for pink. So a clean game, no turnovers on either side, and both quarterbacks playing exceptionally well. What are you looking for here in the second half?
I think more of what we saw in the first half. Both defensive lines cannot get to the quarterback. I thought both offensive lines were struggling this game. That has not been the case. So you go in the locker room at halftime and you got to think of ways, how are we going to score more points? Because what was there, 7 possessions only in the first half.
Kicking off for Kansas City, Ryan Sutcliffe. Back in for Houston, Keyshawn Martin.
Well, it's hard enough to come into Arrowhead and walk away with a win with this stout Kansas City defense, but when the offense is gearing up like it is today for the Chiefs, and then if you're Houston and you lose Arian Foster so earlier, so early. It's a tough assignment, but we shall see as the Texans will begin the second half from the 20-yard line. Third quarter last week at home for the Texans was a disaster. Wrapped with a touchdown pass, and here was the fumble. Martin on the kick return and caught in the air, returned for a touchdown, and then Schaub got crunched, got knocked out with injury. Yates came in, threw a pick six. Of course, we know that's now 5 consecutive games. The Texans have given one up in the other direction. First snap, third quarter from the 20. Keenum throwing for 151 in that first half. He's going to keep it here. And he darts near the first. They'll give him 9 yards.
They were coming out at halftime, and they said, let's just go for the score right away. That time he was looking down the field for DeAndre Hopkins on a double move. It's not there, so this is what they want him to do. Look, it's not there, move. Can't find any open, and get down just a little quicker. One thing I've noticed so far this football season, when quarterbacks run, they're taking big hits.
Brian Hoyer can attest to that up at Cleveland. Tried to make more out of it than he should have. Second and 1. And Tate, that effort right there pushes the pile enough for a first down. First half summary. There you see it. Keenum 8 of 12. Allen Smith 65%. And Kansas City leads it 14-10. You asked Keenum last night in the meeting, what gives you hope? And he said, I played in a lot of games. I trust what I'm seeing, and I trust my feet.
Played in a lot of environments where there was a really hostile crowd, too, in his college days, so he's used to this.
Tate, Derek Johnson there, and he forced the tackle behind the line for a loss of 1. Yes, Keenum's first college game was at Oregon, and he would play at places like Tuscaloosa at Alabama, where the University of Houston almost pulled off an upset. Tate's hurt. Oh boy, Foster's already done, and now Tate needs attention from the medical crew. There's Ben Tate on the sideline. He got up and walked off on his own, but he got hit by Poe from the side.
That's his shot from the side, and Tyson Jackson straight on, so not going to guess what the injury is, just it hurt.
The only back Houston has left, if Tate's injury is serious enough, is Greg Jones, the fullback. They're going to go now with empty backfield on 2nd and 11. And that pass thrown in the direction of Johnson, and no flag. Looked like he might have been wrapped up. Dips on the coverage. And again, Foster had 4 runs in the first quarter. 3 of them were for no gain. He broke this one for 11. And then he re-aggravated a lingering hamstring injury. He's been selling stock for his future. And stocks went down a little bit here today.
Yeah, it did. I know he's disappointed because this is a day maybe he thought he could have success with his offensive line running against this KC defense.
3rd and 11. And the flag is down. As Keenum almost has it intercepted. Kansas City may have jumped. That was Justin Houston who had a hand on it. The linebacker for the Chiefs.
Offside. Defense, number 97. 5-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
Allen Bailey's infraction will make it 3rd and 6 for Houston.
Got in the neutral zone. The neutral zone, by the way, is the length of the football.
Ben Tate is back in the lineup. And for the first time, Keenum is sacked. Allen Alec Bailey, who had just jumped. He came in and got the quarterback along with Derek Johnson.
Yeah, Derek Johnson, that time 2 guys, 1 blocker, and Derek Johnson finally gets to Case Keenum. We heard it from Bob Sutton, the defensive coordinator. You saw Brandon Flowers coming on the blitz. Derek Johnson, excellent blitzer, knows how to time it. Played a little coy and got in there free.
Shane Leckler sending it down to Dexter McCluster, who had a run back against the Giants this year. But the Texans have it well defended. Eddie Pleasant down there to end it. It was a 58-yard punt, just a 5-yard run back. Chiefs lead at 14-10.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Pepsi, live for now. And by Toyota Care. Scheduled maintenance, no cost.
Ball was in the air here in Kansas City and down at Carolyn's Country Cousins Pumpkin Patch, just down the road in Liberty, Missouri. And they're wrapping up the side there, rib area of Tate on 1st and 10. That is Charles for only a yard. Ryan Cushing on the tackle.
You know, I look at Alex Smith here, what he's done so far today, and talking to him on Friday, when he knew he was going to be traded from the San Francisco 49ers, he wanted to come here with Andy Reid to run this offense because he thought it fit him well. He had been exposed to it early in his career, liked it, and he's back.
2nd and 9, and right away they had him, and the ball's out. The ball is out, and it may have been recovered by the Texans. Kareem Jackson was there for Houston. Houston recovery. The first turnover of the game. It's a takeaway by the Texans. Antonio Smith was in so quickly on Charles, and then Charles has had it slip out of his hands.
Yeah, it looks like it. I can't see the contact that knocks it out.
Well, Watt was in the area too. Houston has it at the 28.
J.J. Watt, number 99.
It's the 3rd straight game Charles has fumbled. Tate got some extra padding, and he's in the backfield. They fake to him as Keenum has time and finds Graham at the 15, the 10, the 5. They're fighting for the end zone. They're going to rule him down at the 1. Garrett Graham escaped Justin Houston.
He escaped. Case Keenum escapes. They're trying to throw it down the field for the score. 2 receivers going deep, nobody open. How about that continuous block there on Tom Bahali that keeps him off of Case Keenum?
Boy, he's pretty close to scoring here.
Oh, he is. It's one of those plays.
Yeah, well, Houston might want to have somebody upstairs make a quick decision down to the sideline.
Yeah, he's down. His knee went down.
Yeah, I did see it on that replay. I see a flag down.
Too many people in the huddle.
A yellow flag, not a challenge flag.
There was no penalty for 12 men in the huddle because the Houston coach was calling timeout from the time that he left the box before 12 men got into the huddle. Therefore, we have a timeout, Houston. That's their first of the half. It's a 30-second timeout.
Well, you hate to use the timeout at the 1, but you also would hate to see 5 yards go against you at this point.
Well, not only that, I always say you got to charge plays. Challenge him. Watch his knee as it goes down. As it goes down, that football looks like it's short of the goal line. So it was a good mark by the official. Clearly down. And you say, well, why would you challenge a play, Jim, on the 1 yard line? Have you watched NFL football? Do you know how hard it is to run the football in sometimes from the 2 and 1 yard line?
Garrett Graham, now the tight end with the injury Suffered a couple of weeks ago to Owen Daniels. Greg Jones is the only back. And on this play now they shipped him out. First and goal. Keenum on the keep, ducking down under, and he is about halfway home.
You know, let me go back to him. I'm sorry. I thought it was a challenge because I saw Gary Kubiak run down the field with the red flag in his hand. So it was a timeout by the offense.
It looked like he was about to release it. And they charged him a timeout. It was not a challenge. Trying to cash in off the Charles fumble. Houston trying to make this a fourth lead change of the game. Two tight ends. Second and goal. And tackled in the backfield. Greg Jones hit by Kendrick Lewis.
That was the right spot where you want to run the football. You have a linebacker and a safety to that side, and they just mess up the blocking assignments. Lewis comes in untouched. Not only that, Derek Johnson, the linebacker, is coming in the backfield untouched.
Looked like Graham may have missed the block. Boy, they really missed Foster down here. They've got Tate flanking Keenum. Third and goal to the end zone, and incomplete at the last moment. Marcus Cooper knocked it out of the hands of Hopkins.
Marcus Cooper might be the guy that won the game for him last week against the Oakland Raiders with an interception for a touchdown. You know it's going to be a fade. Oh boy, what a recovery by Cooper. He turns around.
And just after you talked about how hard it is to score from just a yard out, the Texans are unable to push it across. 21-yard field goal try instead. And Bullock's kick is good. So they get 3 takeaway points off the Charles fumble. Hopkins nearly had his second touchdown catch of the game, but Cooper denied it. Well, Houston walks away with only 3 to trim that Chief lead to 1. Cooper batting down that third down pass. It looked like for a moment it might go for a touchdown. Dimps. Out to the 30. And all the way to the Houston 43. Quentin Dimps, who played for the Texans the last 3 years, breaks that one for 60 yards.
Well, you got the defense. You can sack the quarterback. You don't turn the football over. This is another big reason why the Chiefs are 6-0, because they're excellent on special teams, too. Quentin Dimps, how about that? How about having him as your third or fourth safety also? So they have depth. That is a great return and good hustle by his teammates staying with the blocks.
They give him 57 yards, mark it at the 46 where Pleasant pushed him out. And a stumble by Smith, so he has to hold on to it.
Wow.
And Jackson goes flying over his head after he gets 3 out of it. Well, Andy Reid winning his first 6 on the sideline for the Chiefs after all those years, 6 division titles for the Eagles. To the Super Bowl down at Jacksonville where they got edged out by the Patriots. It's the second time in his career he's had a 6-0 start. 2nd and 7. Almost intercepted. That was Jackson, who had the fumble recovery, almost had another takeaway.
Well, he jumped inside Dwayne Bowe, watching here in the slot, and he reads the route and just goes for it. Easy for me to say, but if you're a wide receiver, you can never let him cut in front of you. When you see that move, Dwayne Bowe's got to just fight through it to make sure there's no interception.
Coach Phillips' defense trying to stop the Chiefs here after the big kick return. 3rd and 7. Smith takes off, open field, down to the 20. And a flag at the back end of it. As Swearinger is going to be flagged.
And for the flag for what?
Yeah, he made contact when Smith was given up.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness defense. Hit a clip back to the head with his elbow. It's a 15-yard penalty.
Well,
first down.
That's the reason why. I didn't see the elbow. I didn't think there was contact, but we heard this too, Jim. Alex Smith, and I noticed it when you watch him play, he gets out of trouble sometimes because of his speed. Here comes Swearinger across. Yeah, there's contact there. Yeah, Alex Smith's head definitely goes. And I tell you, Alex Smith at the last second finally saw Swearinger to his left and got down. Wildcat.
Wildcat from the 10. It's Sherman for 3.
Seeing a little rebirth of the Wildcat around the league a little.
Actually, Cyrus Gray coming in.
That's a tough situation. A running back coming in there, trying to read the defense because they were reading that. It was a handoff or a keep for Gray.
Second and goal, 7 yards out. Fake to Charles. They throw it. No, Sherman wrapped up after 1. We got a Texan down. Might be, it is Brian Cushing. Oh boy. And you know what happened last year. And he is in significant agony. We're going to step aside for a moment.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Verizon. This Halloween, trade in your old phone for a new one.
Brian Cushing being helped to the sideline. And he got blocked by Jamal Charles.
He's on the blitz, number 56. Well, you know, last year Brian Cushing missed, what was it, Game 5 against the New York Jets.
Blew out his knee.
Blew out his knee, so you hope for the best. It looked bad.
Put him down on the bench. 3rd and goal's coming up here for Kansas City. Charles stop. Watt closes in on him.
Tough play that time to work. The draw play didn't catch the defense by surprise. They were in like a catch mode. Everybody was back there kind of waiting and circling to see what they were going to do. The draw play came, many guys from the Houston defense free to make the tackle.
This will be a 22-yard attempt.
Suck up from 22 yards. Colquitt to hold. Both defenses coming up with holds, facing 1st and goal against them. Suckup's field goal is good. 6 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. And the teams have exchanged field goals. 17-13, Kansas City. Aerial coverage of today's game is provided by MetLife. Saw some players scuffling after they brought down Jamal Charles on 3rd down, and that was a reaction, no doubt, by that Houston defense.
Absolutely. They knew Jamal Charles was the one who threw the block.
You can get inside the mind of a quarterback every Monday night at 6:30 Eastern Time on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Phil and Rich Gannon, Steve Berline, Adam Shine. NFL Monday QB, and you'll be talking about these two we're watching today.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to talk about Case Keenum, of course, and done a good job. The numbers moving around. Now, can they keep it going? Can they get that momentum that they had in the first half and regain it here?
Rolling. And now buying time. He's got down the field. He's got Andre Johnson, and he makes the catch at the 38-yard line.
What a play. That was the play of the day so far, without question. Rolling right. I thought he was going to throw it away, but he sensed he was not under pressure. So when he moves out, usually you go, okay, it's not there, throw it away. But he feels it, that he's not in trouble, reverses his field. And the old theory, you don't throw across the field. Hey, that's for guys who can't do it. That was an awesome movement, and throw by Case Keenum.
42 yards on that throw. Keenum looks for a second option. Finds it with Tate. And he's out of bounds at about the 38. Brandon Flowers was there.
As you watch it, don't you feel like the Kansas City Chiefs now, the defensive rush is like, when they get through, hold on, don't go full speed, because they're worried about him running the football.
Well, this was a guy who went to the combine after going 13-1 his senior year and closing out that career with all the records of 19,000 yards at the University of Houston. And he tweaked the hamstring in the 40. And he knew he'd underperformed there, and alas, he did not get drafted.
But went to the Texans local workout day. Did great. Gary Kubiak liked what he saw.
2nd and 10. And he cuts his losses on that one.
Good throwaway.
That was the only workout he got, was the hometown workout. But you know, you go up to these combines, and we live with it for like 2.5 months up until the draft finally occurs, and they measure how high you jump, how fast you run, all this kind of stuff. But they don't have a way of measuring someone's heart.
Well, that's true too. But what he did, he showed his talent in the workout. Sometimes you got to catch lightning in the bottle as a quarterback, and he did it.
3rd and 10. They come after him, and he gets it away to Graham. And he fights for the first down yardage. It'll be close.
I think he's going to be short. Big decision for Gary Kubiak here. My first instinct, well, no, it can't even get a guess in. He's already sending the field goal team out there.
Yeah, they spot him at the 29. A downwind 47-yarder coming up.
Another good job by Case Keenum getting rid of the football and picking up those yards to give him this field goal try.
Bullock 2 for 2 in this game. After starting the year 1 for 5, he's hit 11 of his last 12, including all 3 attempts today. That one from 47. 17-16, Kansas City. NFL.com, you can vote for your Pro Bowl players. They're going to change the rules this year. They're going to have Hall of Famers Jerry Rice and Deion Sanders draft unconference teams. They're the alumni captains, and it's taking place all at NFL.com. And again, you come in, you've got Kansas City undefeated on the year, but you look at the Houston side at 2-4 and 4 consecutive losses. I mean, there's a lot on the line here for, I know, both teams.
Well, a lot for the Houston Texans, no doubt, and they were very positive, very resilient sounding last night, and really kind of like, we're almost glad we're on the road, because we feel like the enemy territory is going to get us all together and make us play the way we want to play.
Well, they've got a bye next week. The Texans do. Then they'll host Indianapolis. But Kansas City, if you look too far down the line, you could possibly see them meeting up with Denver in a matchup of unbeaten. What a hit. And Dips this time is stopped quickly by Mike Muhammad, who they just signed. Some of the early headlines, the Jets. Nick Folk, 3rd time this year he's won a game with a field goal at the end. This one in overtime. And the Redskins in a shootout over Chicago. Roy Helu Jr. had 3 touchdowns in that game. Bengals win at the end on a field goal at Detroit. Kansas City backed up at the 13. Open Charles. And the Texans bring him down, but not until he gets at the 34.
Good protection once again by the Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to go deep on this side, and Charles is going to come under. That is great. So the defense is retreating, trying to stop the throw down the field. And a good job by Alex Smith finding Jamal Charles underneath.
That's 21 yards on that play.
But, I think the story again, pass protection by the Chiefs' young offensive line.
And another
false start,
false
offense,
start.
number 17. 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
So in those 1 o'clock games, there you see some of the other data there, including Dallas winning at Philadelphia, a road win for the Cowboys for the first time this year. Romo over 300, threw a touchdown, and Dallas is now 4-3. First and 15. And for the first time today, the Texans get to Alex Smith. It's Earl Mitchell.
Good job, good hustle by Earl Mitchell. The initial protection was good, and you got to make a decision and let it go. But Earl Mitchell that time gets around the center. Hudson, one-on-one, tough for a center, right in the middle of your screen. Number 92, Earl Mitchell, nice move, gets around. Anytime the center is one-on-one with whoever the pass rusher in is, they can go either way. Very hard to block them.
And it's a loss of 6, second and 21. And another defensive play here by Wade Phillips' bunch. Brooks Reed coming in.
High energy. That's what Wade Phillips loves about or preaches to his defense. We want to be the hardest working defense in the NFL. They have some great stats on their side so far. Today, not turning the football over on the offensive side has given his defense a much better chance to perform.
And this defense seems inspired since Cushing was injured. 3rd and 21. Quickly getting it over to McCluster. McCluster down the sideline, and they're going to convert on 3rd and 21, and all the way down to the Houston 37.
Safe play. This is what you do on 3rd and 21. They do not force him back inside. Look at Dwayne Bowe. How about that block? He gets around to the outside. The initial defender, if he pushes him back inside, he's going to get tackled and definitely be short of the first down. Tim, we see it every week, don't we? 3rd and long, we see wide receiver screens, the blocks, and we see first downs.
3rd and 21s, you're not supposed to give up those maybe once a year. That goes for 43. And from the Houston 34, Charles pushed back to the 29.
And they had the defense set up to stop that type of play. But what happened is the initial block, Dwayne Bowe's block down the field, and they over-pursued. So sometimes that great hustle, you still got to have discipline with it. The Texans defense did not do it. Game changer.
Second and 4. And Charles again into the secondary. Down to the 9. First and goal. Running behind Jeff Allen.
You said it right. The left side of the line. Hudson, Jeff Allen, number 71, gets the block. That is some hole. Hudson, the center, gets his guy, seals him off to the inside. I think this Texans defensive line, it's a little, the depth is really not there. So sometimes when they substitute, they can give up some big runs. Davis
Comes in, as you saw, Charles takes a breather. First and goal from the 10. And Miles Davis is out at the 7, forced out by Mitchell.
Miles Davis, the ball carrier. Tackled by Earl Mitchell.
Houston's red zone defense has been the worst in the league through the first 6 weeks, giving up touchdowns 76% of the time. And that happened the first 2 times today. Kansas City entered the red zone, but not the last time. Houston stopped them on a 1st and goal from the 10 in the next 3 downs, leading to a field goal. We're leading to the 4th quarter now. Kansas City leads it by 1, and you're watching the NFL on CBS.
Guaranteed highlights.
Heading into the final frame with Phil Simms, Jim Nance here in Kansas City.
Guaranteed action.
This Kansas City offense, Jim, I know a lot of talk. We talked about it on the pregame show I did with Bill Cowher. Can they continue on like this without getting the big plays? We can see the potential's there. And I'll tell you this, if this offensive line, which is young, the youngest in the NFL, all high draft picks, if they get it together, it's going to change this football team entirely.
2nd and goal to start the 4th from the 7. And Smith has it to Fasano, and waiting for a signal. They say he is short of the goal line.
That was some throw by Alex Smith. He pumped it down the middle, hoping to get a move to Dwayne Bowe over the top. He's covered, and Fasano comes flying in there.
Boy, it's awfully close to being in.
It is.
Did he break the plane? I'd say that looks like a touchdown.
It does, but can you see the football? His big old arms are all over it.
Got a challenge flag out. Kansas City's going to challenge the call on the field.
That was, I know it wasn't a long throw, but that was a really good throw. Tight
Kansas
coverage.
City is challenging the ruling on the field, but the runner was tackled short of the touchdown.
So Ed Hockley will head under the hood.
See if you can see the football. His knee is up.
He's got it so covered up with
He does.
those massive hands. It's hard to tell where the football is.
Well, I got to tell you, what a job. Both arms around the football to make sure with all those defenders. Boy, look at Hudson, the center. Asamoah, he's in there, the guard, just helping him, try to get him into the end zone. Yeah, Jim,
Right.
I think in that replay we just looked at, looks like he is about 1 or 2 inches short. But we talked about it earlier when I made the mistake with Houston. If you think they score, you challenge these, even this close.
Andy Reid having an exchange here with Don Carey.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Andy Reid, we met him on Friday. Of course, sooner or later, we always like to bring the conversation to something we all love, and that's food.
Yeah.
And Andy Reid, we asked him about the barbecue in Kansas City, and he had it detailed down to every. If you want ribs, go here. If you want this, go there. So it was pretty funny. And
Yeah, he gave you a scouting report even better than the Texans. Hockley has seen enough. Let's see what he rules here.
The ruling on the field stands as called. There is no video evidence that the ball crosses the plane before the player's shoulder hits the ground.
It was just
Kansas
nothing
City is
conclusive.
charged a timeout.
no, there isn't. Nothing conclusive. And you said it again, Jim. You just can't see the football because of the protection that Fasano puts on it. Yeah, I know. Every time I see it, I change my mind.
Well, it's just the visual evidence when you don't see the football, and I'm sure that's why he couldn't change it.
That's right.
But nonetheless, it's 3rd and an inch from the goal line.
Well, if you're the Texans defense, you put everybody between the guards and make sure the quarterback does not get the sneak.
Let's call it 4 inches. They're bringing Donald Stevenson. He's eligible on that line. Charles, he is stopped short as Brooks Reed and Ed Reed, along with Antonio Smith.
Penetration, that's what they did. They guessed, they fired off to the line, to the Chiefs' left, to the defense's right.
Now what do you do?
Well, what do you do? They're going to go for it. I would go for it too here. I agree with this decision because If you don't make it, you got a first-time starting quarterback backed up against the best defense in the NFL.
4th and goal. Fake to Charles, rolling out. Smith throws, and he's out of bounds. And the Texans will take over. He connected with McGrath, but he was well out of the field of play. Kareem Jackson was closing in on him. And the Texans stop the Chiefs. Kansas City was stopped, but it's home crowd trying to spark their Chiefs. What a goal line stand by the Texans. Taking over at the 1. Down 1. From the end zone. Keenum. Incomplete, looking for Graham, the tight end.
Well, let's go back and look at this, Jim. Here's the play. You play quarterback. You come out of the fake. You got plenty of space and time. He lets Sherman, number 42, he says block. He's going to run, and then he decides, I can't make it. He goes to throw it, and his speed made him throw the football out of bounds. You got to get that arm in position, make it short, and kind of throw across the body. Alex Smith, it happened so fast, didn't get in that position to make it happen.
2nd and 10. And Keenum down to sideline open man. Snagged at the 30. Then all the way out to the 37. It's Hopkins for a gain of 36.
When he threw this football, Jim, I thought it was going to be an interception. Watch the safety go back here. You say, well, okay, now you got the safety over the top. And Eric Berry plays it very safe. That's a good read. Wow, what a good read by Case Keenum. Seeing the corner react way too fast and fired it in that little gap between the corner and the safety.
6th time in this game, Keenum's had a completion for 25 yards or longer. Fake the end around, stepping up, and incomplete. He's looking for Johnson.
That was a nice little move. Now, Case Keenum, does he realize this is his first NFL start?
Well, I was going to say, pretty fearless.
Somebody
2 straight plays throwing from the back of the end zone.
Pretty fearless all day long.
Well, you asked him, are you going to be nervous tomorrow? He said, well, of course I am. And if you're not, then you should be jumping out of airplanes or bungee jumping.
Well, I wanted to know if he was one of those guys that throws up in the locker room sometimes when people are nervous. He said, no, I'm not like that, but very cool customer. He shows you all those throws he had at the University of Houston. They're transferring to this pro field.
2nd and 10. Now he tucks it under.
That's his first bad read of the day.
And Derek Johnson holds him to 1. Just a reminder, Home Depot SEC on CBS next Saturday. Tennessee off a big win, goes against Alabama at Bama. That's next week. It all begins with the college football today.
Big win for Tennessee yesterday. Their first-year coach, Butch Jones.
3rd and 9.
If nothing else, they've switched field position.
Keenum in trouble, and they get to him with Brandon Flowers.
Well, that's where they get you, this Kansas City defense. They get you on the outside with their little guys blitzing. You have him blitzing along with Tamba Hali. What do? The speed gets there. Brandon Flowers, excellent job. Good job of protecting the football by Keenum. Had 2 hands on it.
Dwayne Brown, slow to get to the sideline.
Well, we got our first real taste, I think, of the crowd there.
Really, you're absolutely right on. As Leffler. Flag is down. Back at the line of scrimmage as McCluster is taken off to the 40. It'll end right there with Pleasant. 53-yard punt, 24-yard return. and a penalty.
63-yard punt, 21-yard return. There's a flag on the play.
During the kick, holding by the receiving team number 77. A 10-yard penalty is enforced from where the punt was caught. Kansas City keeps the ball, first down.
That's big. That'll be enforced from where the ball was caught. That'll back him inside of the 20. Cost him about 32 yards in all.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory, Ram. And by USAA, proudly serving the financial needs of current and former military members and their families.
Looking down at Arrowhead with the Royals ballpark. Jason, just an incredible scene here, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. I think you said it best the other night. It's pro football in a college atmosphere.
From the 8. Standing at the goal line and sacked. And it's J.J. Watt. And that's a tip of the cap right there for Bum Phillips. Told us last night if I get to him, I'm going to make a little gesture for Coach Bum. Tip of my cowboy hat is how he described it. Met with him many a time. Love the man.
Yeah, there's the tip. He moves around on the defensive line, J.J. Watt. He just picks a different guy. It's all about feel, who he thinks he can rush the best and get to the quarterback.
2nd and 13, quick pass, open man. And that's McCluster out to the 15, 3rd and 3 coming up. What a change in field position, though, from the 1 at the other end all the way to the 8 where this drive started.
You go for it on 4th down, you don't get it. That's a big play. You let the Texans get out with a nice throw from Case Keenum. Then they return it, but they bring, you're right, Tim. So the field position, what a change. It took all the momentum away from this Kansas City offense, expecting or thinking they were going to get good field position.
Need to get to the 18 for the first down. On 3rd down, pass, tipped around, and then caught by Smith. That was Watt again making the play.
Oh, yes. He read it quick, the quick pass. He likes to line up to the right side of the quarterback on 3rd downs. It's passing, and in this league, I'd say it's at least 60-40. Right-handed quarterbacks throw to the right side of the field instead of left.
Remember how many times he did this last year? People were calling him J.J. Swat. Hasn't happened as frequently at the start of this year, but that's going to force the 3 and out. And Watt making some big plays, and out comes Colquitt from the goal line. Big hang time, beautiful punt. Fair catch by Martin at the 41 after a 48-yard boot. Watt got a sack and a knockdown pass as well on that series. Jim Nantz and Phil Simms back in Kansas City with 9:37 to go. And Houston starts this series at the 41-yard line. They go up the middle with Tate. And again, Kansas City's all over him. No gain. This week, get the full breakdown on Inside the NFL. Phil, Chris, and JB combined with all the artistry of NFL films. Bring you a pretty special hour of NFL talk on Inside the NFL. Wednesdays on Showtime. There's Foster again out early in this game, first quarter, with a hamstring injury. 2nd and 10. Coming after Keenum. Escapes the pressure. Pass is caught by Graham for a short gain, if anything at all, maybe a yard.
Yeah, it's a good job of getting out of trouble and not having a negative play. That's how you got to look at it. Sometimes, yeah, you want to make good plays down the field, but you got to get out of trouble a lot in this league now. And you don't have to be the fastest quarterback. You just got to have good pocket presence, know when to move. Case Keenum has had both today.
crowd is stirred again. They've been far livelier here in the second half. And a timeout called by Houston. Going to talk about this 3rd and 8 coming up.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Subway Restaurants. Try the Tuscan Chicken Melt $6 footlong special today. And by Walmart. Get to Walmart and the October savings event going on right now.
Houston is down to 1 timeout. It's 3rd and 8. They blitz. Ball is out. And Houston falls on it. Brandon Brooks was there to recover the fumble. Hawley and Houston pinched the edges and got to Keenum. It's a loss of 20.
They overloaded these 4 guys, and it's really tough for the Texans to decide who's going to block who, and it happened so fast. Houston got there before they could make a decision in what to do. Keenum hoping to throw the football away. That's why he fumbled.
Had no chance. Leckler. 14th consecutive year he's punted at Arrowhead. All those years with the Raiders as McCluster has an open lane down the sideline and takes it to midfield. Finally tripped up by Keogh.
Well, you sense it when he has the football kicked to him. It's like being in Chicago and waiting for Devin Hester to make a move. I think he scored on one today also. But it just gives faith and hope to the blockers. The crowd expects it. Good blocking that time, and McCluster took advantage of it.
26-yard return after a 56-yard punt.
You know, that last blitz by Kansas City, well designed. Bob Sutton, the defensive coordinator, those are some thoughts that he learned under Rex Ryan when he coached with him at the New York Jets, and it's worked well out here in Kansas City.
Big change in field position after the sack and the return. And getting away, got away from McCain, and it got a first down. After gain of 13, we've got an update. What are the Packers up to, JB?
Jim, expanding their lead.
Yeah, Jordy Nelson right here from a 1-yard touchdown pass, but the scary part here is Jermichael Finley was carted off the field earlier in his drive, already depleted with people, but Cleveland is pulling away from Cleveland.
We'll keep you updated. Jim Nance and Phil Simms.
And that Packers defense, thank you guys, has held Wheaton to only 110 yards passing in that one. Meanwhile, the Chiefs have it at the 40. On first down, Charles. So quick, but this time only 2. Watt and Mays.
Jim, just watch J.J. Watt, number 99, right around the guy. They're trying to cut him off, but he's so quick and fast. Look, he's like a running back who just got so big, he finally had to play a defensive lineman. Walked on, and we said something to him last night about, hey, it's all falling. What did he say?
It was all what I planned, all part of the plan.
I planned this. He dreamed of it, he worked hard, and here he is.
2nd and 8. He's got it to about the 34. 3rd down coming up. And J.J. Watt is on one knee.
Saw him try to jump as he makes this move against Allen as he's going to jump. Oh, yeah, that's why. Jamal Charles caught him right in the ribs.
Boy, was Charles involved in the Cushing injury. And now Watt is getting some attention. I mean, a game where they've already seen Foster go out. Cushing with the same knee injured that knocked him out after Game 5 last year. And now Watt.
When you look at this, and well, just what you said, looks like he might be okay, but Andre Johnson, you labeled your players 1 to 5. Those 3 guys are in the top 5.
Yep. Might be in your top 4.
Yeah. Brian Cushing, last year hurt, this year. And Arian Foster, we saw it, his hamstring.
But Houston and Kansas City face a crucial situation here. Crick comes in for what? 6 minutes to go. 3rd and 4. On the rollout, Smith fires it, and it's intercepted. Ko has the pick.
What a catch by Ko, and I think Alex Smith, their sprint right option, they're trying to throw the quick out to Dwayne Bowe. It's overplayed. He expects McCluster to keep moving. That's what it was. And McCluster stops because of the tight coverage, and that leads to the interception.
Well, here's a season for Houston has been defined by giving the football away so many times. Next to last in the league in takeaway margin, but today they're +2.
+2. You look at this, 5:47, 1 timeout left. Got to manage this situation the right way.
Of interception.
They're going to review it. Every turnover is automatically reviewed. They're going to take another look to make sure that was a clean catch by Ko.
Hands are under. I thought it was clean. The ground did not help him in that first shot. Looked like he got possession. Excellent job. Boy, that is tough. Full speed. He was running himself to dive down and catch that football. I think when you talk about the league, everybody getting bigger and faster, but the players, just the ability to make the catches we see them do on both sides of the ball.
Listen, if this goes as an incomplete pass and not an interception, Kansas City, that last snap happened at the 34. I mean, you could be talking about
long field goal.
Long field goal.
Yeah, I was already thinking that.
This is a crucial call coming up here.
I think he has it. I think he's got it. When you look at that replay,
it would be 4th and 4 at the 34.
And what breeze there is, it finally died down here as I look at the flags. My gosh, they're straight down.
Nothing.
On the goalpost and the top of the stadium, so 51 yards is no big deal.
The ruling on the field stands as called. Although the ball touched the ground, the runner never lost possession of it. Therefore, first down, Houston.
Ko made the tackle on the punt return by McCluster, and then a few plays later makes the pick. And there's Kansas City. Led the league in takeaway margin at +12 before this week. Giving it up twice. Tate. Nothing there off the left side. Mike DeVito clamps down on him. And only a gain of 1. Next Sunday, regional action on CBS. We'll be up in New England for the Dolphins and the Patriots. Some will see their action late. Pittsburgh at Oakland, Jets and Cincinnati all getting started with the NFL today at noon Eastern. Next Sunday on CBS.
Jim, I think your play call and how you do this is important to go a little quicker to ensure yourself that you see the football this time and at least one more time.
2nd and 9. With a swing pass over to Tate. And he's pushed out by Demps, so it'll be 3rd down coming up.
And why that becomes so important, I know it's still 5 minutes to go, because you have 1 timeout left.
Knocked out of bounds by Clinton Demps. From the 28.
And of course, outside of 5 minutes, that play happened at 5:04. The clock keeps moving once they spot it again.
3rd and 4. And 4 wides. Actually make it 5. They got Graham in a slot to the right.
Oh, here's another overload blitz. 3.
And again, no chance for Keenum. That Kansas City defense, and Holly comes barreling after the quarterback and gets to him again.
It was 4 to the right. Now we're going to get 4 from this side. And it just comes so fast. Nobody there to block Tamba Hali. Jim, they didn't show these all day until the two biggest moments on third down. They blitzed one from the right and one from the left, and both times it got to the quarterback.
And a loss of 10, 4:14 to go. And that is Lechner. Lechner to step out at the 35.
That is one big difference I've noticed in the Kansas City defense this year. Their blitzes are very creative, unorthodox. You don't see them from a lot of teams in the league, and they work. There's Bob Sutton. He talked about it to us, too. Learned a lot from Rex Ryan, some of those blitzes, but also he goes, you know, that Rex Ryan can really get the players' attention the way he relates to them. And I think we all know that.
All those years with the Jets. Of course, one time was the head coach up at West Point.
That's right.
That's U.S. Military Academy.
You take really good players and give them a unique scheme sometimes. That's how you get greatness.
And Charles gets a yard out of that one. Andy Reid at 6-0, and how about this? He and Coach Vermeil both got off to the best starts in Eagles history. And then you look at Kansas City's history, and it's Vermeil and Reid again. Vermeil's 03 team here actually went out to 9-0 that year.
Well, it was kind of interesting talking to Andy Reid on Friday. He had no intentions of sitting the year out.
Houston has just spent its last timeout at the 4-minute mark.
Well, that means, too, with no timeouts left, only the 2-minute warning, you got to be willing to take a chance with the play calls. What I mean by that, if you get in a situation, you either have to blitz or give this offense something they haven't seen today.
Watt is back on the field. Remember, he was shaken up on that last series. 2nd and 9. Charles in traffic to the 40. And that 4-yard run will make it 3rd and 5 for Kansas City.
What that 4-yard run does, it allows the Kansas City Chiefs to be able to throw the football quick. So if it is a blitz, or if they can't block number 99, which is hard to do, Alex Smith should be able to get rid of the football.
Five-yard line for the first down. Ed Reid threatening to blitz. Did he jump? There is a flag down. Ed Reid was offside. Got the completion anyway with Bowe. 14 yards on the pass play to Dwayne Bowe.
Great disguise.
Offside, defense, number 20. The penalty is declined. The play results in a first down.
Great disguise and timing, except he jumps off sides by Ed Reid, but the blocking, they are in a formation. Oh, Jamal Charles once again comes across and stops Ed Reid. So he was on a scan. He was going to be blocking anybody left or right who comes free, and they make a big mistake in the pass coverage. Allow Bowe to be wide open.
And again, Houston cannot stop the clock. Only got the 2-minute warning on their side as Watt is at the bottom of that pile, yielding only a yard to Charles. Just want to welcome all of you who saw the Pittsburgh Steelers win in the end with a Sweezum field goal. The Baltimore Ravens 19-16. Jim Nantz and Phil Simms here in Kansas City, and it's been a good one here. The Chiefs trying to stay undefeated. Houston undermanned, having already lost Arian Foster to injury. Brian Cushing to a knee injury. J.J. Watt's been shaken up but is back out there. Now with 2:30 to go, 2nd and 9 for Kansas City. And complete to the 40 with Donnie Avery for 5. We have not had a touchdown in this second half. 2 field goals by the Texans, 1 by the Chiefs, and Kansas City will let this run down to the 2-minute warning.
Kind of goes back to what you and I always say. Timeouts in the second half, they are golden. Protect them. Could come back to hurt the Texans.
Big third down on the way. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Bill, set it up. It's all yours.
Well, it's the game. There's no doubt about it. 3rd and 5, you get the first down. The game is over. You stop them. The Houston Texans can probably get the ball back with about 1:10, and all they need is a field goal. So that's a big part of the strategy here. You've got to play them up tight, and you got to gamble on the defensive side.
The first down would end it.
If they double move you, then credit them with the courage to do it.
3rd and 4. Smith's throw incomplete. He tried to go to Bo. McCain was on the coverage.
Yep.
And the Texans have a chance.
That's how you play it in the slot. McCain aggressive and just gets in there and fights, and you win at the start or at the line of scrimmage, and McCain won.
And that stops the clock at 1:57.
That's
on
huge.
The incompletion.
That's right. I was kind of counting if it's a completion short, but that's the best of both worlds.
Best in the league at getting punts dropped inside the 20 is Dustin Colquitt. And a little pooch punt. Gets just the favorable bounce. Well, no, hold on. Down at about the 8-yard line. Well done by Colquitt. And Keenum comes out, trying to pull off quite a finish in his debut. 60 Minutes, Amazing Race, Good Wife, The Mentalist, all new tonight on CBS. So a lot of folks have just joined us. It's been the first ever NFL game for Case Keenum. He was a hero in the city of Houston for his remarkable career at the University of Houston, and he has had a stellar debut here.
Yeah, it's been really good, but I'll tell you what, they might give him parade here when he comes home. If he can lead them down and get them the winning field goal, if he can do that, Jim, I think he'll be their quarterback the next time they play.
Well, he starts at the 9, as you see Schaub, who was inactive today after the ankle and foot injury. No timeouts, 1:46. And incomplete. And that was Eric Berry covering Graham.
Excellent coverage. Eric Berry coming out of center field and covering the tight end all over him. If you feel like the protection is really good, if you're Case Keenum, if you can move a little sideways in the pocket, then come up so you can throw it down the field, give those receivers that extra beat to get open.
Second and 10. Keenum from behind to get to him. Picked up by Kansas City's Derek Johnson at the 1. The first turnover of the day by Houston.
Every time this defense gets in these situations, they come through. You have to throw the football. The crowd makes the noise. They get the sacks. They do it. They did it against the Giants. They did it against the Raiders. And again today.
This is the 5th sack of the second half. 4 of them coming in this quarter. And on almost every occasion, Keenum never even had a chance.
Nope, Tom Bahali, the speed, he just kept coming. And that's what's different. These defensive edge rushers, Tom Bahali and Justin Houston, you can block them initially. They just keep hustling, keep running. And Holly that time got there.
Holly with 2.5 sacks.
And this is the play.
In this quarter.
Why run a play?
Yeah, Kansas City does not want to score here.
You're right, Jim. They don't want to score, and you don't want to take a chance. Because if you score, it's an 8-point lead.
Kansas City is 1 minute and 20 away. We'll go ahead and put it on the board as 7-0. And the last guy to coach a team, start his tenure with a 7-0 start, was Ray Malavasi with the Rams back in '78.
It was tight. They hold on to the football here, 17-16. Very impressed with the Chiefs team.
Denver will try to match Kansas City tonight, and that much ballyhooed Peyton return. Andy Reid's already had his return game at Philadelphia this year and took the Chiefs in there and got a W.
Yeah, that's right. You know, the one thing, you can watch them on TV, we can talk about it, but when you see them here in person, your estimation or how you think of Kansas City, it goes up once you see them in person. Or at least it did for me.
One more snap. And it's going to be a one-point win for Kansas City. Feeding off their electric crowd, the defense in this second half just came up huge.
Same formula, it seems like every week, doesn't it, Jim? The offense, pretty stable, but when the time is there, the defense makes the plays to win the game.
And Keenum today, 271 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions. Houston loses for the 5th straight week and will go into the bye now at 2-5.
And you know what? I'm going to say this to Houston. At 2-5, the season is not over. You can recover in this league. Things change dramatically from week to week.
Who do you think will be their quarterback when they come out of the bye and host Indianapolis?
Boy, I think a lot will depend on Matt Schaub's health status, but I think there's going to be quite a bit of emotion and backing of Case Keenum for him to be the starter at least one more game.
Kansas City takes it 17-16. Tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes, followed by The Amazing Race, The Good Wife, and The Mentalist. The Kansas City Chiefs are 7-0. For Phil Simms and all the crew, this is Jim Nantz saying so long from Kansas City. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.